With a world population of over 7.4 billion people, it's not surprising that some places on Earth are stranger than others. From a town made up entirely of women to a colony full of sex offenders, we take a look through 15 of the craziest towns people actually live in. Number 15. Kuba, Pedy, an underground town. An opal mining town in South Australia is located in an extremely inhospitable environment. Desert temperatures in the summer usually exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and it can get quite chilly in the winter. Years ago, the original miners stumbled upon a solution to living there: build everything underground. They began using old opal mines or digging out new structures for housing. The underground homes naturally maintain a comfortable temperature. They require no air conditioning or heating systems, greatly reducing the residents' carbon footprints. Number 14. Mansihiyat, Egypt. A town literally full of garbage. It covers 5.5 square kilometers and is home to 260,000 people and borders Naser City to the east. It's famous for the Garbage City Quarter, which is a slum settlement at the base of Mokattam Hills on the outskirts of Cairo. Its economy revolves around the collection and recycling of the city's garbage. Although Mansihiyat Naser has streets, shops and apartments, as other areas of the city, it lacks infrastructure and often has no running water, sewers or electricity. Number 13. Novia do Cordeiro. Everything in Novia do Cordeiro, nestling deep in the hills of southeast Brazil, has a distinctive feminine touch. And no wonder. The rural town, which lies 300 miles north of Rio de Janeiro, is populated and governed almost entirely by 600 women, 300 of whom are of working age and eligible. Mysteriously cut off from the outside world for more than a century, they're renowned for their beauty, but also their stubborn refusal to live in a man's world. Number 12. Miracle Village, a colony of sex offenders. Some wear GPS devices that are constantly monitored by police, others have fled their homes, repudiated by the local community for being a registered sex offender. And all of them, from those charged with possessing child pornography to the ones caught having sex with a minor and molestation, are there to repent their sins. Number 11. Kowloon Walled City. Once thought to be the most densely populated place on Earth, with 50,000 people crammed into only a few blocks. These fascinating pictures give a rare insight into the lives of those who once lived in Kowloon Walled City. The city was a phenomenon, with 33,000 families and businesses living in more than 300 interconnected high-rise buildings, all constructed without contributions from a single architect. The notorious Chinese city was demolished in 1992, which was probably a good thing. Number 10. Dwarf Empire. A town made up of dwarfs only. These pictures reveal life behind the doors of the world's most controversial towns, called Dwarf Empire. The commune, which is overseen by an emperor, an empress, and a parliament, was built in 2009 in Kunming, in southwestern China. The residents, who range from between 2 feet and just over 4 feet in size, are drawn from all across China and live in small, mushroom-shaped houses. Number 9. Slab City, a town full of hippies. The Slabs is a free campsite and alternative living community located near an active bombing range in the desert city of Nyland, California. Previously an old World War II base, Marine Barracks Camp Dunlap, the campsite earns its name for the concrete slabs that remained long after the military base had been bulldozed and abandoned. During the winter months, as many as several thousand campers, mostly elderly retirees, flock to the site for the warmer desert weather and lack of fees. Number 8. Miyake-jima. The town in Japan where everyone wears a gas mask. About 160 kilometers south of Tokyo is the town of Miyake-jima, sitting at the base of the volcano that shares its name. This town is covered with a cloud of harmful sulfur dioxide gas spewed into the air by volcanic eruptions. To live there, you must carry a gas mask at all times. If the air quality gets bad enough, the town turns into a masked, extraterrestrial-looking crowd of people, seemingly all attending the same themed costume party. Number 7. Chefchaouen, the picturesque Moroccan town that's painted entirely blue. A small town in northern Morocco, has a rich history, beautiful natural surroundings and a wonderful architecture. But what it's most famous for are the striking and vivid blue walls of many of the buildings in its Old Town sector. They're said to have been introduced to the town by Jewish refugees in 1930, who considered blue to symbolize the sky and heaven. The color caught on, and now many also believe that blue walls serve to repel mosquitoes as well. Number 6. Colma, the town where the dead outnumber the living. Colma is a small incorporated town in San Mateo County, California, near the northern end of the San Francisco Peninsula in the Bay Area. With most of Colma's land dedicated to cemeteries, the population of the dead outnumbers the living by over 1,000 to 1, and has given rise to a humorous motto, now recorded on the city's website: "It's great to be alive in Colma." Number 5. The Villages. The Villages is the largest gated over 55 community in the world. It holds more than 100,000 residents in an area bigger than Manhattan, and everyone gets around via golf cart. There are designated parking areas for golf carts everywhere. There are golf cart tunnels and even a golf cart bridge to cross the major highways. Why golf carts, you may ask? Because nobody there really needs a car. Everything they could ever want is inside the gated community. Number 4. Roswell, the town in New Mexico that has dedicated itself to UFO and aliens. The Roswell UFO incident refers to an event in mid-1947 when a United States Air Force surveillance balloon crashed at a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico, prompting claims alleging the crash was of an extraterrestrial spaceship. After an initial spike of interest, the military reported that the crash was merely of a conventional weather balloon. Since then, people have believed Roswell was the first place aliens came down and visited, and the town most definitely reflects that. Number 3. Hashima Island, the Japanese island that used to be a town. In 1959, the island was one of the most densely populated areas on Earth. The tiny island had more than 5,000 people living and working there at the time. The artificial island was developed during the first half of the 20th century for the exploitation of underground coal mines. The owner of the mine thought it would be more efficient if the employees lived closer to the mines. This is how the island was built as a town. It included hospitals, schools, shops, cinemas, and even a cemetery. Number 2. Thames Town, the abandoned English town in China. This eerie little village known as Thames Town is actually found in China, in the suburbs of the Songjiang district near Shanghai. The replica town was completed back in 2006, but has remained desolate and deserted. The Chinese reputation for knockoffs and enthusiasm for European products have spawned this full-on replica of an English town, complete with cobblestone streets and red phone booths. Number 1. Monowi, Nebraska. Population 1. Meet Elsie Eiler, who you can usually find busying herself in the town's bar. When her husband Rudy died in 2004, she became Monowi's last and only resident. Elsie is the mayor of her town, which entails granting her own liquor license to run the Monowi Tavern, paying taxes to herself, and producing a municipal road plan every year in order to secure state funding for the village's 4 streetlights. At just 0.21 square miles, Monowi should barely qualify as a hamlet, more like a side street. But once upon a time, this place was a real, very small town. If you had to pick one, which town would you live in and why? Let us know. Thanks for watching, guys.